to the channel. Today we have a review, sort of maybe first impressions, but a little beyond first impressions, because first, I've had this for several months now, but that is of my Celine Romy, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I've heard some people say Romy, even though there's only one O. I've heard Romy, like as in Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. Anyway, but this is the bag we're going to be talking about today. And spoiler alert, I love it. So here's today's format of this video. We're going to talk about sort of what I like to call the anatomy of the bag. So the dimensions, sort of the specs about the bag. Then we will talk about the wear and tear. We will talk about what fits. We will talk about pros and cons. I will do some mod shots. And then in the end, I will give you my overall opinion and the ultimate, would I buy this bag again? So let's get going. So for those of you who are not familiar with the Romy bag, this is obviously what it looks like. This is in the color tan. It has this sort of strap kind of detail around the bottom. It's just decorative. There's no function to it, although I guess maybe you could say that this maybe supports the bottom of the bag so that it doesn't like droop. That's actually, it probably is functional from that perspective. It just has the little Celine logo right there, and it does have adjustable straps, so there are 3 holes on each side, so you know it is fairly adjustable because you don't necessarily have to have them symmetrically, and I'll go over the that sort of thing in a second. It is, as I look over on my notes here, this is the large size, just so everybody knows. It did originally come out in a medium size, and I tried that on, and then they came out with the large, and I just loved the way the large looked, at least on my body frame. I really like, if I'm gonna do a big bag, I really like an oversized bag. I just think that looks cool. So I ended up, like I said, going for the large. I thought maybe they might be phasing out the medium, but they are not. I think they were just a little behind in production, because for a while you couldn't find the mediums, you could only get the large. But I have it under advisement from a Celine sales associate that they're not discontinuing the medium. Like I said, I think they were just a little behind in production. So the large is 17 inches, and I'm talking inches here, 17 inches long by 11 inches tall. And according to the website, it's 2 inches deep. I don't know. Sort of looks bigger than 2 inches deep to me, but that's what the website says, so that's what we're gonna go with. As I said, it does have a zip top that you can see. It is very smooth. I do keep this bag stuffed with some of the original tissue paper when I'm not using it. It does also store flat very nicely. In fact, I talked about that in my unboxing video. If you missed that, I will have that linked above and down below. But it does go nicely very flat. So if you wanted to, take this and travel with it, and you didn't want to use it, let's say, as your bag on the plane or whatever, it very easily would pack in a suitcase flat like this. But I do keep it stuffed. The interior is just one large compartment. It is suede lined, and it is absolutely beautiful. This leather is so supple. In fact, it is called supple calfskin, and it is very aptly named, but it still smells amazing. But as you can see, it's just one giant big opening there. There are no interior pockets whatsoever, and I tend to wear it basically like this. So it just slouches in the middle. I think it looks amazing like that. So it sort of gets this kind of unique sort of trapezoidal type shape. And this obviously gives you a ton of room in the drop when it sort of folds like this and drapes like this. And it's a big bag, so it will carry just about everything you want, but we will certainly talk about what fits when we get to that. But that, I think, like I said, is pretty much the anatomy of the bag. It says Celine here on the buckles, also says Celine on one side of the zipper pull, and I think that's about it. I don't think it does say made in Italy, line stamped into the suede there, but otherwise, I guess there is a tag in here, which, yeah, there's like a serial number. So there's this tag you can see on the interior of the bag that's got like a serial number on it, which I'm assuming is its authenticity code. So that is probably everything you need to know about the, as far as like dimensions and things. The price on the large is $3,450 US. If you're new here, my name is Lisa and I love to do videos on luxury handbags, shoes, ready to wear. I like to do some styling videos, and I do those things from the perspective of someone who is in the middle of her life as well as someone who is mid-size. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you and you enjoy this type of content, I would love it if you would join us here. Click the subscribe button down below and the notification bell so you know every time I upload a video. Okay, so let's talk about what fits in this bag, and let's be honest guys, this bag is big, so it's pretty much going to fit anything you want, plus the kitchen sink. You know what, actually let me grab my laptop, although I would never put my laptop in here because that would just kind of scare me because it is such a soft and smushy, supple bag that it might, but let's just see if it fits. I'm back. All right, so here is my very dusty, I just realized, MacBook Pro because, hi, welcome to renovations. So, yeah, I mean, it easily, can't even see it, there it is. It easily goes in there. I mean, I could fit a ton of other things. I'm not gonna leave this in here, but you could fit anything you want in addition to your laptop if you wanted to do that. And, you know, you don't even really have to turn it. This is the, I think the 13-inch MacBook Air. All right, but I will show you what I would normally carry on a day-to-day basis. So here is my new card holder from Bottega that I just unboxed for you all. That obviously clearly fits in there. You can barely even see it. I did bring out, I think this is kind of a newer SLG to the Dress Up Your Purse collection. It basically is the same size as the Louis Vuitton cosmetic pouch, or I'm sorry, toiletry pouch in the toiletry 15, I think that's right, 15, 19, and 26, are those the sizes? So I think this is the equivalent of the 15, a little bit bigger or a little bit bulkier maybe than a mini pochette accessoire, so I thought I would use this today to show you. So that obviously goes in there easily. I did grab a full-size sunglasses case. I don't normally take one of these with me, but again, this is so roomy, haha, roomy, that this clearly fits in as well. Here is also a similar to the Louis Vuitton clay, which I do have, but I happen to be using this one from Dress Up Your Purse because I love pretty colors. So that goes in there. Here's my, you know, extra battery that goes onto my phone. Obviously I'm filming on my phone, but I mean, you guys, you could fit a lunch, a water bottle. I mean, you could fit everything in here. I will also pop, this is my notebook, the Ulysses notebook cover from Hermes. I believe this is in the MM size. You can see it's, you know, it's pretty decent size. I think it's bigger than an A5, I think. But anyway, that also can go in there with, just put it so it's sitting correctly or not being impeded by other things. But yeah, I mean, you know, you can see, well, let's hold it this way. I mean, there's still plenty of room to put other things. So even, I wouldn't, you know, I don't generally carry this with me, so let's take that out. But this is probably even more than I normally carry, and that's what this looks like. You know, it still does its drape thing just like it would without anything in it. Doesn't really impact how it looks. And yeah, so that's what fits. Okay, so let's talk about the wear and tear on this bag. I'm trying to remember when I got this bag. I feel like it was in like late May, sometime around then. So maybe June, July. So like probably I've had it for about 3 months, and I've worn it a decent number of times. I mean, I don't wear any of my bags that heavily because I have enough that I can rotate through. But you know, certainly, especially when I first got it, I wore it quite a bit. So honestly, on the actual bag itself, I see nothing. I mean, I'm looking at the corners. They all look amazing. hold those up for you guys. That's the one side. Other side. I don't really see any scratches on the bag. I will say there's one little, like maybe, I don't even know if the camera's gonna pick this up, but right there's kind of a little scuff. I'm guessing that if I, you know, used the oils of my finger and kind of rubbed it, that would come out. I'm assuming I kind of scratched it when I was getting in and out of the bag. The only thing that I would say, like, maybe would count as wear and tear is for a while, maybe half the time that I've had it, I had it on the second hole. And hopefully you can see that, but it did make a mark there on both sides where the buckle was. So I would say, you know, for not a whole lot of usage, I'm curious if I take it off of here, because this I've also used for about probably the same length of time. And there's what you can see on that hole too. So you can kind of see that little rainbow kind of indentation from the buckle, and obviously you can see, you know, that the hole, if you look at this hole compared to this hole, you know, it looks a little more stretched out. But I mean, that's going to happen, you guys. Are, you know, when you're using it, you obviously have weight that's pulling on the bag, and the pressure point of that hole is going to make a mark, or it's going to stretch it out a little bit. So I don't know that I would like fault that or say that's any kind of like excessive wear or tear, but I just, you know, thought I would note it. But otherwise, you know, the glazing all looks good. I certainly would hope it would. Like I said, I haven't had this bag anywhere near an amount of time where the glazing shouldn't look good. But I'm just, like I said, kind of checking it over, and yeah, it looks great. The bottom of the bag looks great. I'm sure it has sat on a floor or two since I've had it, although I do, you know, try to hang my bags off the back of a chair, etc. But, you know, as you can see, even though you wear this bag, you know, it has that kind of floppy, you know, kind of folded on itself, it does not impact the leather. You know, it does not get, I guess, you know, permanently creased or anything like that. So I think the light is kind of catching it weird, but yeah, I mean, there's no, like I said, fold marks or anything on this bag. Now granted, like I said, I do keep it stuffed in its dust bag when I'm not using it, so I'm sure that helps. I would also think, like I said, if I had it stuffed, I think for the most part, when I was storing it in my other, in the, you know, my regular closet, I had it laying down. So I had it stuffed, and then I had it laying flat in its dust bag, so that it, you know, it really made sure that it was very smooth on it. So that may have contributed to the fact that I don't see any, like I said, fold marks or anything. But I just, yeah, it's worn really, really well. So I would say from a wear and tear perspective, it looks great. Okay, so here is what the bag looks like on me. As you can see, it sits, you know, there is a ton of room, especially when it does its little drape thing between, you know, my armpit and the base, or the top of the bag, I should say. So a ton of room. Like I said, for a while, I even had it on that middle setting. You know, it does even sort of collapse even more in. So to me, it's not like super bulky on the body. I think it has a really nice profile, especially when you see it from the front like this, but it's really comfortable. It stays, I will say, very, very easily on the shoulder. It's not one of those that's like slipping off and you have to put it back on. It's not one of those where you feel like you have to hold it. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, but if you've ever had a shoulder bag where you feel like you sort of have to walk like this all the time, you know, walking down the street like this to keep your bag on your shoulder, I don't feel like I have to do that really with this bag at all. So yeah, I just love the way it looks. I love the drape of the bag. I love just the suppleness of the leather and just how it just smooshes and does all those amazing leather beautiful things. Next, let's talk about the pros and cons of this bag. And to be honest with you, they are all pros with only one con. So let's talk about the pros first. We always want to do positives. The first is the size. Like I said, it is roomy. You will get everything you want and the kitchen sink, as many would say for Minx for All, in this bag. I mean, you are not limited to probably anything that you would want to take in this bag. You're going to get it in here. The second pro is the adjustable shoulder strap. I mean, there are, you know, the 3 lengths. Like I said, you don't even really have to make it symmetrical. So in other words, if you wanted to put it, you know, one side on the middle one and one on there, it's still gonna sit, I think, okay. But, you know, obviously you do have the 3 different holes to play with, which I think is plenty. I mean, if you wanted it longer for some reason, you could always have an extra hole punched in here. There's definitely enough room on the excess of the strap that you could do that. I don't know why you would want to, but I like the fact that there is the adjustability on the strap. I'm glad they didn't just sort of make it a one size fits all, because some people do want it to hit them in a different place under their arm. Some people like it really much higher up. Some people like it, you know, much farther down. Obviously in the winter, the longer will work better for, you know, more bulky coats, etc. So I would definitely say the adjustable strap is another plus. Another pro is the fact that it zips. You know, it's, especially in a city like New York, if I'm on public transit, I like the fact that it does have a fully functional zipper. It's a very smooth zipper, so it's really easy to get in and out of, but it is a secure bag, which to me is a pro. Another pro is that these do come off, so you can take it, and I think I showed this in a vlog once when I was trying on this bag, but you can take this off and then very easily add a crossbody strap to it. So, you know, for example, my strap view, if it was in a different color, you could add it to it. And I did try it on, and it does really sit, it definitely sits more flat against the body, more like, and more sort of like this shape. It doesn't do as much of this when you have it crossbody, because it's being pulled, right? It's being kind of pulled outwards against your body like that. But it's a nice look, and so I think it's a nice option that these aren't like permanent on there. Again, obviously they're adjustable, so they have to be removable, but you know, they could have very easily done it where like one side, and actually I think the original Celine Ava bag was kind of like this. It was fixed on one side and then adjustable on the other, so you couldn't put a crossbody strap on the original Ava bag the way it was originally, like I said, brought out. Now they've done it where I think both sides are adjustable, so you can take it off and then add a crossbody strap, which I think is a much better design. But they obviously thought that through on the Romy and did that from the get-go. So I like that you can change it up and put a crossbody strap on it. And the last pro is this leather. It is just, like I said, so smushy and amazing. I know you guys, you know, those of you who are into bags understand the smelling of the leather, right? Comment below if you also smell your leather handbags, because especially when they're like this, they just smell amazing. But anyway, yeah, the leather, it's like I said, it just, you know, I mean, obviously I wouldn't do this for long. I wouldn't want to smush it in a ball, but it's just so supple and beautiful, and just the hand on the leather is just gorgeous. So my only con for this bag is the fact that it is one giant open compartment, that there's not even one single like side zip pocket. That's all I would need. Maybe one interior slip pocket so you could put your phone in it so it would be more easily accessible. But honestly, it doesn't bother me that much. The stuff, and it doesn't even really like just all go to the middle. I think I had somebody ask me that in a video one time, and it really doesn't. It doesn't all like kind of go into a big clump. Like I can pretty much easily find what I need in here. I would not put an organizer in here. I know some people, again, I think somebody asked me about that or said that they would maybe use one. I wouldn't. It's not gonna do this if you have an organizer in it. And you guys know I love my slouch. That's how I wanted my side trunk to look, like my puzzle bag. I want it to have that slouch. And if you put an organizer in it, that's kind of gonna impede that. So while it would have been nice to have some interior pockets on this bag, it's not a deal breaker for me. And like I said, I wouldn't end up using an organizer. So if that's something that you would think would make this bag more functional for you, you don't like the just one giant open hole, and you don't mind that it's going to lose some of that slouch factor, then go for it. Add a bag organizer to it. But for me, a little bit of a con, but definitely not a deal breaker. My overall opinion, I think you can probably guess, it is definitely positive. I love the bag. Like I said, aside from maybe adding a little zip pocket or a slip pocket on the side walls, I would not change a thing about the bag. I think it is beautifully designed. I love everything about it, and it's definitely served its function for me. So would highly, highly recommend, and I would 100% buy it again. In fact, I've thought about getting it in either like one of the kind of cream colors or the black. Either one I think would be amazing. And it just, like I said, it's such an easy bag to carry. And even though when I'm in the city and I sort of tend to prefer a crossbody bag when I'm out doing errands, this one, because it sits so easily and comfortably on the shoulder, it really does not bother me. I have no problem walking around the city with this bag. So from that perspective, that's not a hindrance to me. So like I said, would definitely purchase again. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this sort of first impressions mini review of owning the Celine Romy bag for a few months and its wear and tear, etc. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, I would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up. And if you have any questions about it, something I might not have answered, please make sure you drop that in the comment section below. Happy to answer any questions that you have. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you here. It really does mean a lot to me and other content creators when you subscribe to their channels. I'm working my way towards 3,000 subscribers, and my goal is to hit that by the end of the year. So if you can help me out with that, I would really appreciate it. And of course, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you know when I upload. I do normally upload on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but as I put on a recent community post, because of some of the construction going on in our apartment right now, it has been really, really hard to film because they have been really, really noisy. And so I'm kind of limited to just weekends right now when I can film. So my upload schedule definitely has been affected. So make sure you have that notification bell turned on so you get a notification. And if you haven't had enough of me yet, I will pop another video up here for you to watch. And wherever you are, I hope you are having an amazing day or evening, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.